Hello, I'm Psycho, and you're watching Psycho's Guides. Welcome to WoW in 5 minutes, otherwise known as World of Warcraft in 5 minutes. Now then, let's get to the point. Assuming you installed the CDs, it's time to create a character. But before we get to picking a character and all the choices you have, it's time to explain the two sides. There's the Horde, Orcs, Taurens, Undead, etc. And of course, the Alliance, humans, gnomes, dwarfs, and so on and so forth. There's also a range of classes you can pick. Each race can't be every class, of course, so I've got a little diagram to show you what classes each races can go. The black ticks indicate the classes you could go before the expansion, and the green ticks are the classes that have been introduced after the expansions. I don't mean introduced as in they are new classes, I mean introduced as in that race can go that class now. Worgens and Goblins have all green ticks because they've been introduced to the game as part of the Cataclysm expansion. Now then, let's get back to picking a character. Just so you know, you can go male or female, and when naming your character, as long as you don't breach the terms and conditions and the name's not taken, it's yours. As you can see, I've decided to go a human mage, so customization comes into mind. When customizing, you can change the hair, the facial features, the facial hair, and the skin color. There's also a button that you can press which will randomize how your character will look like. Also, one thing that you want to keep in mind is the two boxes on the right will give you detailed information about your race and your class. So if you're unsure about what class to go, that's where you can find out. Now that making the characters finally finished, it's time to get inside the world. As you can see, this is a MMORPG, mass multiplayer online role-playing game. So an RPG, as usual, means you are your character, you control him, and you make him stronger. The simple term in World of Warcraft is quest and you will level. Decide to kill and you will level. Go PvP, that's the only time you don't get XP. The leveling system works with experience, so once you've gained enough experience, you will then go on to the next level. And once you're high enough level to learn new things, that's when you go to your class trainer to learn those things. That's how World of Warcraft works. And now, having reached level 3, I'm going to learn a new spell, Arcane Missiles. Now, having more spells and abilities will make the game that much more sophisticated. So you can imagine once you reach the final level, currently level 85, how sophisticated the game can be. Your action bar, which is right there at the bottom, and where I'm just clicking on now, will be full. It will be beyond full, probably. You might even need more action bars on top of the ones that you currently have. But you take it a level at a time, and level 85 will be there before you know it. The game does get more complicated, and each class happens to have a role. Those 3 roles I will explain shortly, but before I go there, there's other things such as talents and stats, mastery, and all these things, but I'm going to be explaining them in a future video. For now, let's see how the game looks like at level 85. The character that I'm playing now is a level 85 paladin, and my role in this instance, an instance being a dungeon, there's 2 types of dungeons, a 5-man dungeon or a raid. A raid consists of 10 people or 25 people, but in this 5-man dungeon, my job, my role is a tank, so therefore I need to make sure that the boss attacks me. There are other roles too, such as healers and DPS. DPS stands for damage per second, and their job is to deal damage as much as possible. And lastly, the healer. His job is to make sure I'm alive and everyone else is alive, including himself. Roles are important because some classes can only go DPS while others have choices. So if you want to become a tank or a healer, you might want to pick a class that can do that. If you pick a hunter, for example, who can only do DPS, you can consider your healing and tanking career to be over. Getting back to the instance, just so you know, we did wipe here. It was quite some time ago, and this is a heroic 5-man endgame instance. There's a quick last piece of information. Some dungeons have got a normal difficulty and a heroic difficulty. Now then, thank you for watching my WoW in 5 minutes. This is Psycho. Please comment, like or dislike so I know I'm doing a good job. And lastly, see you next time. Because you've watched it to the end, here's a little piece of information. I play on Bronzebeard. Bye.